There was dogs everywhere up in that holler. And there was one dog that they did keep chained up. He was a brindle pit bull. He was black, and in the country they called it tiger stripe pit. And they call it in the hood too, they call it tiger stripe pit. It was a brindle pit bull, and he had a black face, and his stripes were like kind of cream. They weren't real orange like you see on some dogs. Anyway, his name was Tattoo, oddly enough. And he belonged to this guy, Glenn, and he had a rough life. This dog did not have a good life. He was chained up all the fucking time to this dog house, and there was a lot of kids in that area. And my brother and I, we stayed up in the holler, like deep in the woods. But where this dog was tied up, there was a little community of families that were mostly sort of intermarried, and you know, this one guy did, you know, 2 or 3 of his sons had houses there, and their wives, and maybe some of their wives were cousins to others. I'm not saying anything weird, but there was just a pocket of family in these maybe 6 houses, 7 houses. And this dog Tattoo was chained to a dog house next to one of these houses, and you know, the kids would fucking throw rocks at it, and it just didn't live a good life. They would just throw bags of dog food over there. I don't ever remember seeing anybody pet it or spend time with it. And one day, I got off the school bus. So at one point, our school bus was kind of in town. I mean, our bus stop. But they got it changed to where, because there were so many young kids coming now, that they moved the bus stop closer to where everybody lived. So instead of riding my bike or taking my skateboard or whatever to town, I could go about a quarter of the distance, and I would get on the bus with all these other kids. So we get off the bus one day, and it's like me, I'm 7th grade, and you know, there's like maybe 1 other kid, 2 other kids my age, and then 4 or 5 younger kids. And I hear somebody screaming, and we look up the road, and you see Tattoo, this dog, and he's got about this much chain, just where he had broke his chain. It's just sort of hanging off his neck, and he's just panting heavy and looking at this house. And this was it was a rough area. The house doesn't exist anymore, but they had like, I remember the one room you could see in had a dirt floor, and a lot of people lived there. And it's just, you know, in Appalachia, there's poverty, and you know, some of these folks live rough. So this dog is just broke himself off the chain. He's looking at the house, and this man, Glenn Holler, walks out of the house, and he's got a shotgun in his hand, in his right hand. His left arm, this like portion of his forearm is just ripped open, like meat hanging off this motherfucker. And clearly this dog had just opened this motherfucker up. And this dog's just panting heavy, just kind of, it almost looks like he's smiling. And you know, me and all these kids, and there's a couple mothers. Some of these mothers would come out to greet their children off the bus. I remember walking in a group, and I see this one lady, Martha, she grabs her son and just sort of pulls him in, and Glenn pulls that shotgun up and just shoots this fucking dog's head off in front of everybody. I mean, you know, kindergartners, 1st graders, 3rd graders, 5th graders, me and a couple other 7th graders, just blows this dog away, man, in front of everybody. He just turns and walks right back in the fucking house, man. One of the craziest things I'd ever seen, to this day, one of the craziest things I'd ever seen. And the scene still is like thick in my memory because it's just something you don't forget.